Now, some might call these plot holes. Others might say that the Black, in a bid to be tight and focused with its storytelling, deliberately chose not to dwell on or even mention events that were outside of the main plot. But no matter which way you look at it, Season 2 of The Black ended with as many questions as it started with, which is especially frustrating considering the fact that there's a very real possibility that this season is the last we see of The Black. I'm going to talk about the future of Pacific Rim in a later video, so make sure you subscribe for that. And in the meantime, let's look at what questions we still have after the end of Season 2. I'm not going to dwell on each of these for too long because I do want to look at some of your comments as well. First up, Boy's origin. And I can't believe I'm saying this yet again, but there are still question marks here. What was one of the series' greatest mysteries technically was answered, but what we got was a brief throwaway comment from Marshall Rask about how they found him wandering the desert and that they were in the middle of studying him when all the breaches opened up. But that just opens up loads more questions. Did the precursors just pull him out of a cloning tank and then boot him through a random breach like, oh, I don't know where it goes, but fuck it, just send him in there? Like, the whole point of this guy is to blend in. Like, what's he blending in with in the desert? The fucking cactuses? All the other 8-year-olds? What the fuck? As a sub-question, we still need to know if Boy is the only one of these new sleeper agent kaiju, these infiltration units that can sneak into populated areas and turn beast mode on and inflict horrific levels of damage. But now that he's struck up this friendship and this family relationship with the siblings, might he perhaps turn into a defense against other infiltration units? We might never know. Secondly, are the breaches still open? There's no reason to believe that the numerous breaches that started opening during the events of Pacific Rim Blackout, that served as a precursor to the events of Pacific Rim the Black, have suddenly stopped appearing. And the fact that it's not mentioned in Season 2 is a little annoying to be sure, because these numerous breaches are the whole central event that this whole series revolves around. If they are still appearing, what's the plan? Marshall Rask, I'm looking at you! Did breaches open in other countries too? How are they dealing with the threat? Thirdly, Breacher's origin. So once they realize they've lost their mind control over Boy, the sisters of the kaiju suddenly bring out their big tutors and summon the largest kaiju the Pacific Rim universe has seen, bar the mega kaiju. So what's the story with this guy? Where did he come from? How did the sisters get this guy under their control? Did they just send a bunch of kaiju ticks on, to do their thing to it? We know that that tick could kill a Cat 3 kaiju, but was it really powerful enough to bring this guy to its knees so they can, pump it full of their blood? Fourthly, again, can't believe I'm still talking about this, but the fate of Herc Hansen. I've spoken about this quite a bit on this channel, but again, it's another loose end, or it is to me, because it feels like many of us are assuming that this moment in Pacific Rim Blackout is his death. I reckon though, and this is just a hunch, but I think this might be a surprise return in the future. The reasons I think this are twofold. I need to see him in his grave. I need to see his unbreathing body, his white, lightless eyes. Otherwise, I'm not buying it. And I know that he had heart problems in Blackout. I know he and Striker Berserker got absolutely battered. I know he solo drifted and got flattened at the end of the comic, but we still did not get that flatline. The other reason being that his military record that Loa pulls up is marked MIA instead of KIA. So yes, it could be that the database simply hasn't been updated yet, or it could be something more. I just feel that they've got a great character here, one whose death could be played for massive emotional impact, but no, they've gone, yep, he dead, you'll take care now. It feels unfinished. Next up, I've actually lost count. How did Sydney Base survive? Especially considering that they had a Category 6 kaiju lurking around out there, how did this place make it through the events of the Black? Defended by these guys? I think not. There must be 1 or 2 Jaegers left in there, so why didn't they send them out? Next, just so many questions about Spider. In a gas mask. Well, why did you send to me? You can't use the M-bomb. The M-bomb? Is that a thing? Is that really a thing? You have to call them vertically challenged now. What? I love this character. I mean, right? What's this guy's story? Again, could be that not knowing everything about him adds to the mystique of the character, but still, why does he wear the mask all the time? Is it a breathing apparatus? How did he get involved with Shane? He seemed to be one of the only people who had seen Shane's good side and seemed upset when he died, which does lead me to wonder how they joined up in the first place. Did Shane kidnap him as a kid? Fucking hell, Shane, quit stealing them kids. Anyway, what happened to Spider? Where did he whoosh off to on his bat bike? Nextly, does Boy have the potential to evolve into something even more powerful? So the High Priestess clearly saw something in Boy to make her think that he was the missing element in their plan to pave the way for Precursor victory. But how did she find out about him in the first place? Was she somehow told about Boy by the precursors? I did wonder perhaps if it was the sisters who somehow summoned Boy, but he went beast mode on them and then escaped into the desert, and that's where he was picked up by the PPDC. But my main question is, how does he lead the kaiju to victory when he's just a tiddly little cat too? I'm wagering that this is not his final form, and that he has the potential to become something much more powerful than even the Breacher, possibly even more powerful than the Mega Kaiju. Like, those aren't my only questions. Why did the dad not go all out in search for his wife and his kids? Will May ever find her parents? Is a Jaeger's power core exploding really powerful enough to vaporize a category 6? And I'll leave you with this question. Is there a way that Apex could still be alive? It's been suggested that his hybrid physiology might mean that he goes dormant upon the infliction of a huge amount of damage like this. And if that's true, could that mean spin-off series, anybody? Anyway, I'm going to discuss all of these in my full season review, which is going to analyze and review and break down everything of note, and that's turning into a 2-part marathon video, so stay tuned for that. But right now, I want to go through some of your comments. Renzo Joseph Galang says that Apex would kill Breacher because he kills kaiju in Season 1. Now, I think what he's referring to is this line of logic, as highlighted by Brendan Baker here, that because Apex was in the Boneyard, where there were bodies of Slatterns and Ortachis and all that stuff, that Apex must have been the one who killed them. And that is a really intriguing prospect. But I'll tell you this, I once visited a military graveyard where there was thousands of graves from World War II. But that doesn't mean that I was the one who fucking killed them. Though while it is entirely possible that Apex did kill a Slattern, it's a pretty big assumption to me. If there is any actual evidence that Apex killed a Slattern, I want to know about it, so make sure to get in the comments. Renzo, thank you very much for taking the time to comment. Brendan, massive shout out to you for bringing this to my attention. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Hugh Vermery says that the characters in the black are just too generic for him. And you know what? I see that. This is no intricate character study. But if you're used to watching monster stuff, most of the characters are way more annoying than this. So I'll take generic over annoying anytime. Theorizer Moore is writing a fanfiction set after the black to show how Australia is taken back from the kaiju. So make sure to check his channel if you're into that kind of thing. Lava Legend noticed that right here a HUD screen says SCP-008. I googled what SCP-008 actually is, and it's kind of like a zombie plague or something, so I'm guessing this is just a coincidence. Philip Smith says, the real question is Striker Berserker still stuck? That would be hilarious if Herc Hansen, unkillable as he is still lying there, just fucking refusing to die. Complex E says that Obsidian Fury and Apex have the same body but with different heads if you look closely. Do they really? I'm gonna check that out. Nethmedi refuses to believe there won't be any more Pacific Rim the Black because it would be a tragedy. I feel you, buddy. Thank you very much for the comment. I know you've been a part of the channel since the very start. You, sir, are a gent and a scholar, and I salute you. Thank you to everybody who's taken the time to leave me a comment. I do read them all, as you know. I'm gonna read out more of your comments in my next few videos. Next on the channel is Breacher versus Mega Kaiju. I might also do a Slattern versus Raijin if I get the time. Let me know if there are any matchups that you would want to see though. But for now, let me kindly invite you to get out of my head, and I will see you very soon for the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and cheerio, bye!